Let me guess, you want more freedom, whether that's freedom of choice, freedom of location, or maybe both. You know deep down the only way to make it happen is by having your own business. Because let's be honest, even with an above the average paycheck, your current financial situation doesn't allow you to live the life that you truly want. And you don't feel like you're making the impact that you're destined to make in your current job. In the video that's coming up on your screen right now, I spoke about why I left the corporate world of architecture back in 2020. The reason for that was simple, so that I could have more time to do my own business. However, I already started the foundations of my business when I was working those crazy 60+ hour work weeks as an architect back in the corporate days. So I was where you probably are right now, not that long ago, and I still managed to start my own business working full-time here in the Netherlands. And in this video, I'm going to break down step by step exactly how I did it so you can too. The specific business model that I'll be talking about is coaching or consulting, since this is the easiest model to get started with minimum investment and with minimum logistics. Quite frankly, if you have a laptop and an internet connection, you can do this business here in the Netherlands, but also pretty much anywhere else in the world. Before we dive in, thank you to Taylor Brands for sponsoring this video. Taylor Brands is your one-stop shop to set up everything for your online business and have it look super professional all in one platform. More about Taylor Brands later in the video. As cliche as it is, the number one thing I did was to decide that a different reality is also possible for me. I was sick and tired of standing in the sidelines, watching other people succeed and make excuses as to why I cannot change my own reality. The moment I made that mindset switch, as if almost overnight, I started to see the world with a different pair of lenses. And the world of opportunities started to open up for me. So toward the end of my architecture career, I started to work with online coaches and entrepreneurs and do social media management for them. This was my first introduction to this online business model. And very quickly I realized, because I love learning, I love teaching, and I love making a positive impact on other people's lives, that this is the business model that I also needed to operate in. However, it wasn't that easy. I was stuck in analysis paralysis because I didn't know what the heck would I even be teaching online. And I got stuck in creating things like my branding, my website, and setting up the visual end of my business, as well as the back end. I wish I had much earlier access to Taylor Brands early on in my journey. Taylor Brands is your one-stop shop when it comes to setting up your business online. And if you get started with Taylor Brands on this journey of setting up your own business, you can get 40% off with the code GULCEYT. That is GULCEYT. More information down in the description. And now we're going to be doing this together. This is where we're going to be entering our name and click Get Started. We're going to be selecting services for our online coaching business and click Next. Here is where I'm going to find consulting. I'm going to go with name-based logos because I feel like they just tend to be a lot more modern and clean. And this is where you're going to be choosing 3 styles that you love so that Taylor Brands can suggest you bespoke logos in a similar vibe. I like things to be quite modern. And wait, while Taylor Brands does all the heavy lifting for me in just a couple of seconds. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see different kind of logo variations that Taylor Brands is suggesting you. Pick the one that you like. And if you want to customize it a little bit, you can also click the customize button. And with just a matter of few clicks, you can get exactly what you're looking for. Quite loving the orange, very much on brand with everything I do. And then once I'm happy with what I'm seeing here, and I check out the mock-ups, looking pretty cool, I'm just going to press finish. And once you're ready to hit the ground running and you're happy with everything you've created, you press upgrade. And this is where you can upgrade your account And don't forget to use your 40% discount code with GulcheYT. In fact, let's pause this video right now, go over to Taylor Brands, get your custom domain so you can put your decision into action. Don't get into analysis paralysis. Just grab your first and last name as your domain, and let's continue with the rest of the video. Now, the second thing you have to do is to decide what you're going to be coaching people on. And here, believe it or not, a lot of the mindset things start to come up again. Like, who am I to teach this? I'm not even an expert at this. Who is even going to listen to me? I'm here to tell you that you do not need to be an expert. You only need to be a few steps ahead of the general public to be able to lead them. You have what I like to call the curse of knowledge. Just because something comes obvious and easily to you doesn't mean it's that easy for other people as well. Take the path of least resistance, and that's exactly what I did. I was an architect in the corporate world, and that's practically all I knew. And I had gone through the job application process myself, right? So I started to coach other people on finding a job in the field of architecture, interior, and urban design. I would host CV sessions, resume writing, cover letter, overview of portfolios, and coaching people through the entire process from deciding what kind of job they wanted all the way through actually getting that job. So ask yourself, in your professional career right now, where are you? What's the kind of path that you've taken to get there? And what's the most interesting thing that you know so far that you can break it down into smaller pieces and guide other people through? That is what you should get started with when it comes to your online coaching business. Unless, of course, you already have a different idea of what you want to do because this is coming from another education or another passion. Even if you're a beginner and if you know nothing about this thing at the moment, you are so determined and so passionate to learn as much as you can so that you can start to guide other people. Whichever route you end up taking, make sure it feels right to you and that it's the path of least resistance, and do not give in to the curse of knowledge. And now, ding, 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 the $1,000,000 question. How do you get clients to find you and your coaching? Well, this is where you're going to want to focus on your short-term marketing efforts. And typically this happens on social media, and you don't need to be spending any money on paid advertising just quite yet. So this looks like choosing a platform on social media where you're going to be the most active on. And ideally, this platform should be where your ideal clients are also most likely to be active on as well. For example, if you want to do coaching around the matters of health, it might be worthy of being present on Instagram. But if you want to coach people on careers and finding jobs in the software sector, you might want to be on LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, or perhaps you want to be active on other places like Discord groups and Reddit. The moment you have that social media platform identified, you need to be creating consistent content. And no, I don't mean to go all Gary Vaynerchuk on you and tell you to pretty much make content out of nothing and start to post 24/7. What I'm trying to tell you is to create educational content that provides value, and with every piece of content have a clear call to action that you want the person to perform. For example, the easiest would be to get them to book a call with you to speak with you further how you can help them to solve that particular problem. Let me know down in the comments which social media platforms are you thinking about being more active for your online business. I have a quick tip here. If people are not liking what you're sharing or engaging with you, it does not mean that they're not watching. So do not get held back by the lack of the vanity metrics and be consistent with your posting. And don't forget to have the call to action with every single thing that you share. Once you're able to get over that slump and you get your initial clients, things get a lot easier. Congratulations! You pretty much have a business, and now it's about time to register it and make it all official. And you do this by going to the Dutch Chamber of Commerce or Kamer van Koophandel in Dutch, or in short, KVK. I made a full video about that you can find in the playlist that's appearing up here after this video, but I'm going to give you the TLDR version right now. You need 51 euros and 95 cents, name of your business and an address of your business to get things registered. Make an appointment online at the Dutch Chamber of Commerce so you know when to go. And the entire registration process, at least when I did it back in early 2020, took me about half an hour. That's really all you need. And the good thing is that 51 euros and 95 cents is later on tax deductible. So essentially, you get to have a business without really paying much for it or anything at all for it upfront. The main thing here is to make sure that your address is eligible for business registration, because sometimes it isn't, especially if you're renting it from someone else. In that case, you might need to go for a co-working space and get a virtual PO box and have that be where your business is registered. And I'm going to be touring some workplaces in the upcoming episodes, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to check those out to see where you could be working and where your virtual PO boxes could be hosted. At this point, you're probably wondering, well, I'm just getting started with my business. I don't have a lot of finances. How am I even going to afford these virtual PO boxes? In this next step, I'm going to walk you through how you should be organizing your finances so that paying for things like that happen with ease. So the next big step is to start to think about your finances. And there are two main things that I'm going to be sharing with you when it comes to that. First one is to really be aware of how much you're saving every single month so that when it comes to quitting your 9 to 5, you have anywhere between 6 to 12 months, if not a little bit more, living expenses saved up. So you have this breathing space when it comes to running your own business full time. The second big thing is to start to think about a secondary bank account, which will act as your business only bank account. In my business, I have a secondary account, and within that account, I actually have 4 sub accounts. And this is how all my finances are organized. So I'm going to be sharing them with you so you can pretty much copy paste this into your own system as well, especially if you're brand new and you just want a very quick way to get started. So the first one is the operating account, which is where all of the ins and outs and the expenses of the business come out of. So if you were to purchase a subscription for your business, the monthly payment would be subtracted from that account. If you join Taylor Brands and get 40% off with my code GOLCHEYT, this is where that amount would be subtracted from. So that's account number 1. Basically how you're running your business. And at any given moment, I want to make sure I have enough reserve in this operating account so when next month comes, all my basic business expenses are going to be paid off with ease. If you want to know more about the tools I use in my business, let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to share with you all of my operating expenses that I have going right now. The second one is what I like to call my own profit account. And this is where you're going to be saving a certain percentage of the money that you're making every month for your own profit. And this is the money that you use to pay for things to sustain your life, right? So that could be mortgage, rent, food, travel, whatever. So that's the second big account. The third one is what I like to call the future projects. So this is, for example, a big expensive thing that I want to do for myself or for my business, but I need to save up for it. So for example, if I need to get a new laptop, or if I want to join a business mastermind, or if I want to hire a future employee, the funds in the future projects pot or account would be the money that's going to be utilized towards that. And then last but not least, and also quite crucial, the fourth account is taxes, or as I like to call, tax strategy, because the idea is not to pay all that money in taxes, but find a way to make sure that you can deduct it within the rules so that you're paying the bare minimum tax while still benefiting your business maximum. If you have this kind of setup for your online business from the get-go, you will know with so much more ease what the financial situation looks like. Now you might be wondering, but how do you determine the percentage that goes into every single account? This is completely up to you, and especially when it comes to the taxes, check what that's going to look like for your specific business model. In the Netherlands, VAT is 21%, so that's something that I save aside with every client payment. But you also need to think about your yearly taxes, which is just a little over 30% that you need to be saving. So to be on the safe side, I like to save about 40% for things like taxes. And then I have my own pay, future projects, as well as the operating account that get pretty much divided up relatively equally between the remaining 60%. Maybe you don't want to have an online business. Maybe you want a different business model. In that case, check out the video that's coming up on your screen right now, where I'm sharing with you 5 other business ideas that you can get started with here in the Netherlands and beyond. Click the video and I will see you over there.